Do you want Google to use your current location?
Do you?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
I don't care. Are we recording?
Yeah, we're recording right now.
Oh, nice. In that case, no, I don't want Google knowing where I am, because I don't want them having verbal confirmation.
Yeah, I'd hate for anybody to know that we're currently at 545.
Shut up! No, stop!
Dude, you doxed him in the opening of the first episode.
How come everybody doxes me at every opportunity?
It's not even your house, it's your parents' house.
Hey, stop it! You're already doxing me even more.
Oh, shit. No, this is not his parents' house. This is...
Stop.
We're at 1024 Thatcher Avenue.
This is actually my parents' house.
Okay.
My mom and my dad love each other very much. And then they took all that love and they made me.
That's the saddest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Because it's not true, and everybody knows it.
Well, our listeners don't know it.
They do now.
Okay.
Biodome reviews. I thought that's the first thing that would pop up, but it's not.
Should we go for all critics, or...?
I am looking at critic reviews mainly because anytime I've read an audience review, it's just... They're not... Their opinions are... I don't know how to describe it.
Okay, here's an idea. All of us pull up a different review site, and we read different
Well, I'm
sites.
looking at Rotten Tomatoes because they have the funniest reviews.
I'm going to go with IMDb reviews.
I am just looking up Biodome on Instagram, and I'm just going to look through the comments on things related to Biodome.
Yeah, so there's IMDb, which has, like, Metacritic, and then there's Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, I'm on Rotten Tomatoes because these are actually really funny. Introduction for the new podcast is called Another Podcast by Three White Guys.
Oh, always remember the early Tenacious D cameo in this?
No? Dude,
What?
are these spoiling the movie?
It is spoiling the movie.
Well, that's okay. I've never seen Biodome by Pauly Shore, or at least not all the way through.
It's probably been like maybe 20 years since I saw it.
Cameron, give us a rundown on the idea of our podcast, where this came from.
Okay, so our podcast, what's the name of it?
We don't know yet. It's called
No, what did you guys want to name it, though?
Shiitake,
Mushroom
what? No.
Slam Bamarama.
Yeah.
Okay, now tell me the logic
The
of why we're
Grand-
naming it that again.
Grand Slammer, yeah.
Wait, what?
Tell me the logic of why you wanted to name it that.
It just sounded funny
Are we
in my
on
head.
trial?
I asked you to discuss the origins of the podcast, and I thought that maybe along the way of the episode we would eventually find a title.
No, but I had a reason that I did that, is because we were having a similar conversation in the car earlier, and I was saving my argument for now.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot.
All right.
Wait,
Time
what
for
was
your
your argument for...
I was trying to lead you into giving me your argument so I could argue for mine.
You can't manipulate me, Cameron. I'm too stupid.
Okay. Well, anyway, they wanted to make this podcast as like a sequel to another podcast that,
Shiitake too.
that nobody even watches, by the way.
Because it's 2 hours long.
Or listens to. Yeah, because it's 2 hours long. And, you know, I've never gotten far enough to find any other reasons why not to watch it.
Because we don't edit it. It's just Marcus and
Yeah.
I watching a movie where you can hear the movie in the background.
Yeah. So, I have only ever watched enough to decide that I don't like it and then stop watching it.
That's like every video I've ever made without Cameron. I don't really like it, but...
It's just that it's nothing but shit jokes. Like, it's a bunch of shit jokes.
That's the whole point of Shiitake.
I know.
Is we watch sequels looking for poop jokes.
I don't like the concept.
Well, that's why you're not in it.
Yeah. Well, I'm in two of them, actually.
Well...
So the lead actress, Kylie Minogue, has called this film her worst career move. She said it's the only thing she has done in her professional life that her father ridicules her for.
Dude, her father hasn't been in shit. What is he talking about?
Yeah, who is this
She's
guy?
successful.
Who is Mr. Minogue?
Anyone who's
Mr. Minogue, like Mr. Magoo.
Mr. Magoo.
Anyone who's lucky enough
Mr.
to be in a
Minigoo.
Pauly Shore movie is doing better than any of us.
Maybe her dad's like the real life version of Mr. Magoo, but instead of being like blind, he has very bad.
It sounds
taste.
like a mixture of Minotaur
Very
and Magoo.
bad tits.
So if Mr. Magoo was a Minotaur, that's her father.
Minigoo. It says she was in Street Fighter, a better movie than Biodome. LOL. Literally the only thing I remember her from.
Well, she kind of looks like a Power Rangers.
It looks exactly like one of the Power Rangers, yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe a MILF Power Ranger.
So before we get into reading reviews, so Marcus isn't here because he doesn't like driving, and we're at Cameron's house. I mean CJ's house. I mean a random person's house. And so Cameron and I were just talking about, wouldn't it be funny to read bad reviews? Because we were reading bad reviews on a restaurant. What was the one the other day where we had this idea?
I don't know. You told me it wasn't me that was there with you. It was you were with Marcus in Springfield.
Oh, that's right.
And
we
then-
were looking at reviews for McDonald's, the one by my apartment.
Yeah.
And even though like it's just like every other McDonald's, it's really low rated, and people were just talking about just being funny about it. So we were like, what if we did a podcast where we read bad reviews and then we went and experienced it, whether it's a restaurant or a movie or
Sex toys.
some place that has bad reviews, and then we come back and for the second half of the podcast we talk about our experiences compared to the bad reviews.
Yeah.
So in the first half we're going to talk about bad reviews for Biodome by Pauly Shore.
I just pulled up the Metacritic Instagram. Biodome, with a Metascore of 1, is the third worst reviewed movie of all time. Which is a little crazy to me, given the myriad of worst movies. Sure, yeah.
That's kind of crazy that it's only third.
Should we tell them our names?
Yeah. I guess we'll go ahead and introduce ourselves. I'm Cameron. I have no other aspects of myself I want to explain on a podcast right now. So
My name is Nick Wildhouse.
you just said your full name.
That's not my real name.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Well, now they know.
I am the lead director for the internet's hit sensation Chums in the House, and
Speak a little louder.
What?
Speak a little louder. Just a tiny bit louder.
And I want to whisper for the rest of the podcast.
My name's CJ.
Okay, there we go.
And he's our assistant. That we just said could join us.
I like how CJ just said like his name in a way that more would come after.
You need to-
Nothing else came after.
What are you talking about? The entire rest of the podcast is about to come after.
Oh, that's true.
I'm coming after right now.
We still...
None of us are wearing clothes.
As expected of a podcast. I'm going to start with one review from IMDb. And I specifically looked for the 1-star reviews because those are going to be the most entertaining, I'm assuming, hopefully. So this one is captioned, or titled, I should say, "If You Were Yogurt, ... question mark. This is a 50-50 movie. You either love it or you hate it. Funny lines are few and far between, but do exist. The rest of the film is just mindless humor that wasn't funny even for mindless humor. Stephen Baldwin. Wait, who? Stephen Baldwin?
Mm-hmm.
He's like the youngest Baldwin brother? Or the oldest?
I don't know the chronology of the Baldwin lore.
I don't know which one ate the other, Cameron. That's
One
not
of them
common
ate
knowledge.
one in utero.
They all look the
and-
same. How am I supposed to know which one's older?
I don't know.
Well, anyway, he only adds to the overall idiocy, as if one bad actor wasn't enough. I don't even know enough about Stephen Baldwin to know if he's a bad actor.
I don't. Well, I guess we're about to find out. Here's one. I was scrolling down specifically looking for old reviews, and I found one review from Peter Stack of the San Francisco Chronicle that was published a month before 9/11. So I just want you to have that context. 9/11 has not happened yet. America faces the very real prospect that Pauly Shore is the most annoying comic alive. So...
And I'm sorry, are we just gonna leave it there and let people come to the conclusion that
after 9/11 he is no longer the most annoying comic alive?
Who are we talking about again?
Oh, I thought you were trying to say that he's why. And that's why there's a conspiracy.
You want to know what
people
movie?
People to know that it was actually because Pauly
You want to know
Shore
what
sucks.
movie came out like right around the same time, like right before 9/11, which is actually really sad, and it's why it didn't do well.
9/11?
Is Rat Race.
Oh, yeah.
Which is actually really funny, but everyone was so traumatized by 9/11, no one wanted to go see a good comedy. Oh, man. Like, that's a good movie.
I wish we were watching Rat Race.
But you know what? If we didn't have 9/11, then we also wouldn't have had The Whitest Kids You Know. And we wouldn't have My Chemical Romance.
And we wouldn't have 9/11 jokes.
9/11 jokes.
That's true. So here's a funny one from 2009. John Anderson from the LA Times said, I don't know why he's like watching and reviewing it like 7 years after the movie came out or whatever.
Yeah, why would anyone do that? Why would anyone watch a movie?
Wait, what year did Biodome come out?
Many years after it came out, and then review it and talk about it.
All these comments, they're like, man, back in the day when everything was not on a computer, I guess, Biodome was my favorite movie. Free Mahi Mahi. Every single one. Man, Pauly Shore was my man. Free Mahi Mahi.
Wait, what's Free Mahi Mahi
I
mean?
guess that's a line from the movie. I don't remember that
Dude,
line.
Biodome was actually in 1996, so this guy is writing a review like 13 years later. So John Anderson of the LA Times said, despite the advances humankind has made since dragging itself out of the primordial ooze, Shore is a successful comedian. Wait a minute, that's like a backhanded compliment.
Yeah, it kind of is.
What? He's saying, like, this movie was successful because a lot of people know about it, but it's still shit. Like, that's what he's saying.
That one confuses me.
I know. I'm just gonna scroll down a few and read some of these.
Despite he is success that I can't wrap my brain.
He's
around.
not successful in that, like, he's
Not
rich,
that.
but he's like people know about him.
I think he's saying that humanity pulled ourselves out of like the mud or whatever, and progressed to the point we're at right now. And then, despite the progress we've made, we've still allowed Pauly Shore to be a successful comedian.
And that right there, between this review and the pre 9/11 review, is like the perfect like dichotomy right there of the pre 9/11 pessimism of America and the post 9/11 optimism. You know, like there's a distinct difference between reviews that you're going to see from people. So this one, I mean, it's not by any means inspired by madness. This one, really quick review, inept in almost every respect. These are pretty good reviews.
So I have a review right here that I want to read a little bit of, because I think it's pretty funny and also weird, and also it's like a whole page of text. But anyway, so it's titled, I hate this movie. I feel so stupid because of it. I hate this movie. I really hate this movie. It makes the Paris Hilton movies look like Citizen Kane.
There's a Paris Hilton movie.
I didn't know that. Wait, actually, no. I've seen some of them.
I've seen. What is it? Museum of Wax or
House of Wax.
House of Wax.
There's the original and the remake.
That's the only movie I know of with Paris Hilton. Go on.
I just know that they exist because I think I've seen like parodies.
Have you ever seen the Britney Spears movie Crossroads?
Crossroads? No.
No, neither have I. That's one that we should watch.
Why are we talking about this right now?
I'm just giving you an idea. This is foreshadowing.
Okay, but in House of Wax, there's a scene where a street post goes right through Paris Hilton's skull, and it's the best part of the whole movie. And if there's anything you get out of this podcast, you need to go watch that one scene from House of Wax, because it's way better than her sex tapes.
You already spoiled it for them. Now they know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and like they don't know that she gets fucked in the sex tapes.
I didn't know that.
Well, this is now a rated R podcast, everybody.
We can censor.
Thanks a lot, CJ.
What?
Thanks a lot. We're not censoring ourselves. We're not censoring ourselves.
Okay.
No, we're not going to put
Thanks a
bleeps
lot.
in
Now
here.
I can't show this to my parents, CJ.
Yeah.
Even though
Only-
they're grown adults.
We can only show this with kids, not our parents. You know how sensitive they are to swear words.
Isn't it kind of crazy that like Like you can't watch like PG, like 13, like rated R movies with your parents, even though they're so much older than you.
And yet Gen Z is like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Even though PG literally stands for parental guidance.
Yeah, I know.
No, it means that the parents need guidance. We've been misunderstanding that this entire time.
We're supposed to hold their hands.
It
not
makes
the other way
sense.
around.
It makes so much sense.
Well, boomers have had their hands held their entire lives. Why would that change now?
Okay, well, I'm gonna finish.
Dude, so this review... Sorry.
I'm gonna finish
All right.
a little bit of this.
Barely even started.
Stop edging. You can finish.
I'm gonna let you finish, but Beyonce had the best music video of all time. Well, anyway, so this one continues to be "Oh My Mind," 2 + 2, 2 + 2 = 4. Wait, does it? I think it equals 19. I'm not sure. I've lost so many brain cells while watching this movie. One of my friends had mentioned this movie to me. We were talking about how some stoner flicks are fun. He mentioned Biodome. I had never heard of it, but he said that he saw it once in junior high. He's just... What are you...
It's a Beyonce hoodie.
It's a Beyonce? Well, you're blocking my sound, bro.
Oh,
We'll talk about that in a second.
sorry.
But my comment on your review, on that review, Cameron, is... He's so full of shit because obviously he has enough brain cells to write with proper grammar. Boom! Roasted.
Yeah, but, monkeys will eventually write Shakespeare.
Yeah, we were having a conversation about that the other day.
Yesterday.
That
The conversation was yesterday.
How am I supposed to know what day we're talking about?
It was
we already wrote
yesterday.
Shakespeare.
Days
You've
happen.
lost enough brain cells you don't remember yesterday.
Days
Okay,
happen.
Nick, how many yesterdays are there, though?
Yesterday.
There's only one.
There's only... Let me
There's
think.
only ever one tomorrow.
Well, the Earth is 2,024 years old, so if you count 365 days a year plus...
So I found the Wikipedia article that had something revealing that this was actually where Kyle Gass and Jack Black, film stars Stephen Baldwin, Pauly Shore, has cameo appearances by Roger Clinton, Patricia Hearst, I don't know who these people are. Jack Black and Kyle Gass first came to global attention in Biodome, performing together as Tenacious D on screen for the first time.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which makes it crazy, 'cause I really didn't know that Biodome had this bad of a score. That legitimately was like a movie that I mean, I don't know. Kids like shit, I guess, but I watched that movie a lot as a kid.
I remember watching it a lot too, but I also somehow don't remember any of the movie.
I just watched a kid, around this time, a lot of Disney Channel original movies, like, Don't Look Under the Bed. And,
Clock Stoppers.
That's Nickelodeon. That's a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one though.
Yeah.
Oh.
That had French Stewart. But Good Burger is the best. That's the top tier of like kids movies of that era,
yeah.
which was also Nickelodeon. It was their first feature, actually.
I know off topic, but every time I think of when we went to the moon, the only thing I think of is that one episode of Even Stevens where his sister's like, we went to the moon in 1969
because it's all she remembers.
That's all she remembers.
She didn't do the project, so the whole song is that over and over again.
But it's a whole
brilliant
song.
I know, it's a whole musical to that one fact.
I'm never gonna forget what year we
Not
went to the moon.
1968, but the year after.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to Biodome. I've got one here.
This is like how they wrote the movie, I'm sure.
So this reviewer, Daniel Barnes, from Dare Daniel, reviewed this movie in 2019. And he said, a psychotically unfunny and thoroughly loathsome comedy from start to finish. That said, the film earns points for not taking its foot off the pedal and for never attempting to make the manic idiot protagonist remotely likable or even human.
I like that not taking their foot off the pedal, because they do they just keep going into it.
It's like Chums in the House.
But I've seen that specifically, that phrase, on a couple of these reviews already. Specifically, psychotically unfunny.
I think they're just copying and pasting each other by reading other reviews. The last one I want to read here is, none of this makes any sense and the humor is poorly executed. Mostly this is an annoying film. Dude, Shore captured a Razzie Award for Worst Male Lead, tied with Tom Arnold. For his performance here, yeah. Shit, I forgot the name of every Tom Arnold movie.
Can I piss you guys off for a minute? And
okay.
Maybe some audience members?
Sure.
Okay, hold on. I guess was reviewed in 2007 or something.
2007, good year.
Something, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
This is just like the bit that I started reading. There are few films that can be automatically dismissed as terrible because of their star. Steven Seagal and Chuck Norris, almost certainly. Jim Carrey was like that for a time.
No.
And without a doubt, it is the case with Pauly Shore, who must be the singularly most annoying performer that has ever managed to find employment in a film. It's difficult to find any adjectives to describe how unbelievably irritating Pauly Shore's line of perpetual, strung-out babble and nonsensical surfer speak.
Say what you will about Pauly Shore, but I draw the line at Jim Carrey because he's been funny from the beginning.
I don't understand where that came from. That's some kind of weird. I don't like funny guys.
Yeah, that's just a pretentious.
I feel like
reviewer.
you know that thing that people say, like, somehow you did the math wrong, but you arrived at the right answer. Like that's what this like seems like. It's like he used a bunch of examples.
I don't like him. He's just like Jim Carrey. No.
He used a bunch of examples.
No, that's a compliment.
Yeah,
if he's just like Jim Carrey, that's a good review.
He used a bunch of examples that I completely disagreed with. That he's so wrong about it.
Dude.
But then he gets to Pauly Shore, and I'm like, okay, yeah, you're making some sense here.
Dude, this review was from less than 2 years ago in 2022 by Mal Vincent of the Virginian Pilot.
Why are you doxing everyone? You'd like saying
this is public information. This is a published reviewer. This is a critic.
Just like all of
he
our home
doxed
addresses.
himself, Cameron. It's on the internet.
I guess that's
Wait,
anyway.
Hold on. He put his like where he's from too.
No, I'm hyperbolizing. Let me read the goddamn review. It says at one point, Pauly looks into the camera and says, "Sometimes stupid can be pretty cool. Not this time, Pauly." Got him.
Yeah.
But this is from less than 2 years ago. I don't understand why people are deciding to go back and like, you know what I want to do with my career as a critic? I want to watch movies from 30 years ago and give them bad reviews. Is it like an ego boost? It's like it's too late now to go back and review stuff.
Some people just run out of things to do. I mean, does he look old in his profile photo?
Yeah.
Well, that's
all
why.
Old.
Like he doesn't have anything else to do. Like we're gonna be there soon. Like, well, not.
We're
soon,
there right now.
Yeah, we are right. Yeah,
we're reviewing a movie from 30 years ago right now. I described us.
Yeah, but the concept is different. You know, like we're doing a podcast. That's totally different.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. We need more podcasts in the world.
We're not old men typing on our computers. We're kind of young dudes that are talking into a microphone.
It's basically a radio show, but we have to call it a podcast now. What's up with that?
In our 30s, we're old.
That's technically not old. That's not even considered middle-aged.
I don't remember.
I don't think you can claim that we're not middle-aged until, 30 years from now when
we'll be middle-aged around 40.
10 more years.
I think we hit middle age 5 years ago.
Well, the rate that life expectancy is declining, we might very well be.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so
this one's from January 12th, 96.
Here's some trivia, by the way, for this movie. Apparently,
for the times. Sorry.
Apparently, Alec Baldwin told his brother Stephen Baldwin that doing this movie could end his acting career. Which I don't even remember who Stephen Baldwin is.
We don't know who Stephen Baldwin is, so that might be an accurate assessment.
We don't even know who Stephen Baldwin is, so I think Alec might have been completely correct.
Alec Baldwin,
Alec
the guy
Baldwin.
from 30 Rock.
The guy from 30 Rock, also the guy who killed another guy by shooting him.
Also
set.
the guy that ate his brother in Ute. Rest in peace, Stephen. Okay, this one's from the LA Times that came out at the beginning of 1996. I just love the way it starts. Is film an art form? After 100 years, there seems to be little doubt. Is homo? What is this going?
It's got so much more.
There's so much more. I thought that was going to be funny, but that's just dumb.
It's not funny. Here's a good one, though. A review on IMDb. It's a featured review, by the way, so lots of people like this. A hard-hitting documentary about how an actor destroys his career.
Holy shit, that's the one. Go for it.
Sure, the basic premise for this film was absolutely ludicrous. It was still good for a few laughs, and I mean a few. Based on the failed and flawed experiment of Biosphere 2, which I have been to twice and even got to look inside. Wait, what? Biosphere 2?
I guess that's an actual thing
If you go to
that somebody made.
If you go to user reviews on IMDb, they're like so much more optimistic. One of them says, from 2020, says, 10 out of 10 explains so much of American culture. So I'm concerned. I'm a little concerned by what he means by that. When I first come to America, nothing makes sense. This is what he says. One night, my friend Carmine say, you should watch Biodome. I look all places to find this movie. I find in Goodwill in San Jose. So happy I did. Movie is brilliant. I get American bro culture almost now. The best thing is it also teach importance of love for the Gaia.
The Gaia?
I don't know what
read
this is.
Read the last sentence.
Best thing is it also teach importance of love for the Gaia.
What does that mean?
Gaia. I don't
For
know.
Mother Earth. Gaia is like another word for Earth.
Oh.
Like Mother Earth. Yeah, it's
like Captain Planet.
Love the planet. Yeah.
Well, that explains some Rule 34 I saw yesterday.
But it is really funny. He's like, finally, after watching Biodome, I understand the American culture
And nature.
I like how
which is not American.
I hope that a foreigner's first impression is always Biodome by Pauly Shore. This is...
We could do a whole other podcast where all we do is find foreigner reviews about bad movies.
I think we should just incorporate it into this
I
podcast.
love that.
And just be like,
I want to. Yeah, that's a good one.
because people who are not born in the United States would have an amazing perspective on our media. Like, that's so funny. He gave it a 10 out of 10. He loves this movie. Like, I think that's great.
Maybe we haven't seen this movie yet, but maybe we were wrong expecting it to be bad.
Maybe
It's good.
I've seen this movie. Why you guys are acting like it's a new thing?
I only saw parts of it and I barely remember it.
Yeah.
I don't have a full memory of this movie.
They just oh yeah. I can't sit still, dude.
Why are you getting up?
He's getting up so the podcast doesn't hear him, and that he's the minor character.
Oh, do you have to fart? Is that why you're standing over there?
I just
Oh, God. Why couldn't you fart on his clothes?
what? Cameron wanted me to be in front of the microphone.
I think it's implied that if you have to fart, that you fart in the designated dirty laundry basket area of the bedroom. That's why he has a sign over there that says, please fart here.
That's not a real sign.
Also, we're not in Cameron's bedroom.
Right, we're in his parents' bedroom.
Okay, well, anyway. Okay, so I'm going to read something, box office-wise. The budget is estimated to be $15 million.
What? I've
Yeah.
never made a movie with a budget of $15 million.
Right now.
Wait,
anyway.
that's not like that's like today's money. It would be
Wait,
15 million.
it would have been
or
15
back
million
then
in
it was 15 million. Is
Oh
what
my
they wrote
God.
on the
After
chest.
inflation, that's like $30 billion.
Something like that.
Look at what they made opening weekend though.
The gross U.S. and Canada was $13.4 million.
Did not make it back.
And then the opening weekend, they made $5 million. So, like, all of the money they made was or not all the money, but, like, a little bit less than a third of the money they made was, like, the first weekend that they were playing it. Which is insane. Because, like, don't movies usually,
Well, now they do.
Marcus is asking me to push you in the leg from the picture I took earlier.
Okay, well, fuck Marcus.
Mark, this is a quick, what do you call it? Aside from Marcus.
Interjection.
So
Tangent?
Marcus is somehow interrupting Cameron again when he's not even here.
I'm not putting any of this in the podcast.
Deleted scenes.
Deleted scenes.
Oh, okay. It's not censorship if we just delete it.
We're only going to delete the things that Cameron doesn't like.
You guys wanted me to edit this. If I'm editing this, I'm taking out
Edit
this
the
stuff.
audio quality, not cut it out.
Well,
This is.
I thought it'd be funny if we just like bleeped the I don't know when
We should bleep
just
another
random
word.
parts.
Just not swear words.
Bleep Marcus.
No.
Whenever it would be kind of funny though.
I'm not
like,
deleting Marcus from our lives for this
Anytime-
podcast.
I didn't say that. I said bleep his
yeah,
name.
we didn't say delete. We said censor.
I don't want to censor Marcus.
He's like the one person that deserves to be censored.
Yeah.
If there's anyone on this earth that needs to be censored, it's Marcus.
If we put it to a vote, you know he would also vote for censoring himself.
Well, he might do that.
Those are some really big tits that just popped up on your Facebook. Nick, what the fuck?
First of all, these are male tits. These are...
I don't care. Those are the biggest tits. Not the biggest.
They're
but
not the big.
Those are pretty big.
My nipples are bigger.
They're not that big because I think.
I mean,
we're seeing it from a perspective of like they're on a heavy set man.
Why did this?
It's not a heavy set man. It's big tits on a man.
Why did this? That's the first thing that lives on my Facebook.
So you hit him with the juicy photo of the goods. Damn, girl.
Well, anyway, I guess we can watch the movie now.
Oh shit, we have to do that, don't we?
Yeah, we gotta watch the movie.
I don't want to watch Baldwin. Let's do a different movie.
Okay, let's talk. Let's read
Stand
some
by
reviews.
me.
It's not a bad movie though.
Let's watch Cadet Kelly.
It's bad if you watch it in reverse.
You know what? Let's Rotten Tomatoes. Let's figure out what Rotten Tomatoes' worst reviewed movie is.
I bet it's not even that bad.
Fingers crossed, it's something misogynistic.
Is that what you like? Misogynistic films?
No, I'm hoping that society.
What the fuck is wrong with people?
Rating.
From 2021, how a 90s sci-fi comedy became one of the worst movies ever made.
Are they talking about Biodome?
Dumb and Dumber star in one of the worst movies ever made. Stephen Baldwin, what?
Oh, he's just calling them
Dumb and Dumber. Yeah, I guess.
How do I filter this to see like the worst movies ever?
You just Google the worst movie ever.
Okay, Google worst movie ever.
Yeah.
Worst movie.
Yeah. You wouldn't expect. You wouldn't expect convincing the lesser Baldwin brother to star alongside Pauly Shore in a. Shit, Nick, how do you pronounce that word for real? I've never seen that word. Purell?
In a puerile stoner comedy.
Let's let the audience at home pronounce this Puerile stoner comedy to be part of God's master plan. You can go.
Okay,
This
so
isn't good.
here's an article I found. It's called 100 Worst Movies of All Time, and it's on the Rotten Tomatoes website. So Rotten Tomatoes says that the number one worst movie of all time is named Ballistic X vs. Sever.
Really? It's not Jason X?
I don't know what that movie is. Another one, number 2 is One Missed Call. And that's number 3. There's a sneeze sound. I don't know else how to read that. It's just a sneeze sound. No, but that's a lie. It's actually okay. So this is the first one I've seen a recognizable actor. It's a Nicolas Cage movie.
Of course.
Named Left Behind.
Who's the recognizable actor?
He is a recognizable actor.
Oh wait, you're talking about Nicolas Coppola.
No, Nicolas Cage.
Oh, Luke Cage from Mortal Kombat.
Okay, whatever. I'm moving on. Number 4, 1,000 Words. Oh, another recognizable actor. Eddie Murphy is in this one. 1,000 Words.
Removing Eddie Murphy's voice.
Yeah, the best part of Eddie Murphy. Let's take that away.
Like,
Let's
isn't
have
that
him
what
not
he's
talk.
known for?
Yeah.
Okay.
Says Shrek, I'm making waffles. That's not even how he sounds.
And in the morning?
Oh, the next one, number 5.
Dishonor on your whole family.
Mushu, yeah.
Number 5 is Gotti, and it's Travolta. Okay, we're getting into some recognizable names now.
Again, who's the recognizable name?
John Travolta. You seriously don't believe...
From 2018. Oh, wow.
You seriously don't believe that John Travolta, Eddie Murphy, and Nicolas Cage aren't recognizable names?
John Travolta, from the star of the hit comedy
Super Babies, Baby Geniuses 2.
I actually have seen
Oh,
the
Baby
movie.
Geniuses 2.
I
I've
love
not
Baby
seen the second one.
Geniuses.
I like the first one. I've never seen the second
Oh, maybe I
one.
haven't seen the sequel.
Did you know that John Travolta was in Wild Hogs?
Yeah. I hated that movie.
We should do that for an episode as well.
Ooh, this one looks like it would be a good one. Gold Diggers.
National Lampoon's Gold Diggers.
Gold Diggers.
I've never seen that.
I think we might have to add that one to the
Who's
list.
in that?
A bunch of sexy ladies.
Two broke losers and a bunch of sexy ladies.
That just sounds like Chums in the House.
No, just the two broke losers part.
Okay.
Last day. Okay, so I'm not gonna read all of these because it is 100 movies.
Also, we've been talking for over 30 minutes.
Yeah. I told you we should watch the movie now.
Well, then put in the movie. Pop in the VCR.
Okay, we're popping in the VCR. Let me just make the VCR noises here. I mean, let me
First of all, we have to buy you a VCR. And then we have to buy this.
Okay, hold on. They're now comparing this to Tom Cruise's The Mummy. And it says, if you thought that was bad, you don't know what you're missing.
I don't feel like that works for older films.
Also,
comparing it to a new film.
I don't know how in any way, shape, or form you can watch Tom Cruise's The Mummy and think, wow, at least it's not Biodome.
I've never had that thought. Like, I've never watched a movie and thought, wow, at least
That's
it
a
isn't
stretch.
Biodome.
This guy's just looking
It's just
for
not comparable at all.
He's just looking for contemporary pop culture references to try to, like, get people to read his article. There's like nothing intellectual.
Yeah, because then he's like, also Tenacious D made an appearance in this, and then an entirely different thing. I laughed on a few parts, like the guy singing Spider-Man, but the name of the song is replaced by Iron Man. Pauly Shore laughs like the Wicked Witch of the West from Wizard of Oz because you had to explain who the Wicked Witch is. A couple of fart jokes. They even mocked then President and current President, U.S. Bill Clinton, and predicted
current president?
No, it's not. And predicted his infamous scandal, I guess.
Pauly Shore predicted the Bill Clinton
scandal. I guess
scandal.
so. That's what they're saying. Lack of armed security to keep the Biodome secured. It's as if Batman, this man's autistic. After the two friends enter the dome, there's no actual 3-act structure or proper conflict. So, very bad acting from Joey Lauren Adams, whatever. She sounds a combination of Chucky's Bride and Bernadette from Big Bang Theory.
He just keeps throwing names out there.
For
Why
real.
do you need to fucking know who all these people are?
Blah, blah, blah. Family Guy can make better flashbacks than this.
You mean
blah,
Family
blah,
Guy
blah.
that was created by Seth MacFarlane?
That is a fact. That is not a known fact.
Starring lead character Peter Griffin. Yeah,
I love Peter
Voiced
Griffin.
by Seth MacFarlane. Did he include that information?
What is product placement? PP for short.
What? That's not even
Who
a
calls
thing.
What is
product
this,
placement
man?
PP?
This was written in like 2018.
Product placement.
The film is incredibly dated because it takes place in 96. Sorry, there's a lot on this. Guys,
that is just a waste. I like the part of our
mark.
podcast now where we review reviews because I think some of them deserve it. I think some reviews deserve to be ridiculed.
The final verdict, F as in faker.
Really? From a distance, I was looking at your phone and I thought it was going to say F as in Frasier. And I was like really interested to see what
final grade. Frasier.
I don't know what that means. Is that good or bad?
I don't know. I was waiting for an explanation.
Okay. Last bit. Now I understand why it's considered one of the worst films ever created by mankind. Do not waste your time on this. As Alexa Vega's character in Spy Kids once said, it's full of shiitake mushrooms. If you want to watch a decent buddy film, I highly recommend Beavis and Butthead, Dumb and Dumber, or Tommy Boy because those three have an actual plot, characters with common sense and conflict. Rumors speculate there's going to be a sequel. If it happens, be prepared. We must be vigilant. I cannot believe they mentioned shiitake mushrooms in there.
But all those movies he listed, even though I like those, are all poorly reviewed movies. He's just saying, don't watch this poorly reviewed movie, watch these poorly reviewed movies.
But definitely like Dumb and Dumber, Tommy Boy, yeah.
Yeah, they're good, but it's just like...
It's in the same category.
If he were trying to be a professional critic, maybe he would compare them to, higher reviewed comedies, not something that you can argue are not good
It's something
movies
that,
on their
yeah.
merit. I'm just, it. By the way, on eBay you can find Biodome on VHS for $11.
That's way too much.
That's when I'm gonna buy it.
That's not even including shipping, though, is it?
Free shipping.
Wow.
Free
$11.
shipping.
Worth it.
Oh, it's in full screen. Never mind.
Well, anyway, going back to that review, he mentioned like one of the worst movies made by mankind, and it's like, how many movies are there not made by mankind? Is my question.
I think they're talking about Womankind.
Womankind.
Yeah. Well, the only one that I know of is
Hero
hold on.
Pig.
Let me Google this real quick because I
Hero
actually
Pig.
know her by heart. No, she did that one movie, Virgin Suicides.
Greta
What's her name?
Gerwig. Yeah.
No. Sophia. It's Sophia Coppola.
Sophia Coppola.
She's literally the only.
Sophia.
Wait, is she in Biodome?
No, because you said films created by mankind, by men.
Right.
I'm just saying that this is a movie, or this is a woman that's created a movie.
And Greta Gerwig.
I thought he was just talking about like movies made by humans.
Also, she's related to Nicolas Cage.
Is she?
Yes, because his real name is Nicolas Coppola. I said that earlier.
I'm looking at the Google link that says specifically this.
Yeah.
Does it say that they're related?
Yeah.
I don't trust you. I'm
Nicolas Cage.
I don't trust you. I trust the internet.
She's the daughter of Francis Ford Coppola. Nicolas Cage is the nephew of Francis Ford Coppola. They're both Nepo babies.
I wasn't asking you. I was asking CJ.
Why can't you ask both of... Why? This podcast is a group effort. Why are you asking a question directed at one person that I could easily answer?
CJ had it open.
But I know the answer.
How do I know you know the answer?
Because I know this fact.
How do I know that?
Because I know things, Cameron.
I'm not just gonna believe you.
Just make it up. You really think someone would do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies?
I didn't know it was going to be so dramatic.
Just go on the internet and tell lies?
That's how I feel about Nick.
I have never told a lie in my entire life.
All you do is lie.
No, that's what Marcus does.
Yeah, but you lie too.
No, I don't. Name one lie I've ever said.
Literally this one right now.
I can't name them because there's too many of them. It's hard to pick them apart.
I don't believe you. Our viewers don't believe you.
What do you mean? You're our listeners.
We're the listeners, and we don't believe you.
There's nobody viewing this.
I am, and I don't believe you.
They're listening to this.
I'm listening to this.
Nobody's listening to this.
I'm listening to this.
Okay.
Here's my back.
Don't fart.
Man, CJ's just giving us all the ASMR that sucks.
Cam, you know what?
I really want to do an ASMR where you just like rip one and burp and like jiggle your can because you're checking to see how much beer is left in the bottle.
Cameron's like, I lie. But he's like a blatant asshole. And what's worse? At least if I lie, at least I'm like nice about it.
Oh my god. I
See, you're
so much
admitting you
behind.
lied.
No, I never said that I lie. I said if I'm a liar. I said if.
But you are a liar.
If is good. I'm not a liar.
You lie all the time.
And then, as a joke, and then I take it back immediately because you get offended.
Lies are lies.
No, they're not.
Manila,
Real lies.
Liza,
Real lies.
Manila, Liza,
Real lies,
Liza
real
Manila.
lies.
Liza,
Speed.
Nick, Liza, Manila, Manelli.
I'm touching Cameron's shoulder, sensually.
I'm touching CJ's penis.
No. We're not playing this game.
Okay.
Start the movie.
We'll start the movie.
You can touch my penis.
And we just watched the movie Biodome, starring Pauly Shore and one of the Baldwin brothers.
Stephen Baldwin.
Stephen Baldwin. Steve Baldwin.
Stephen Baldwin.
Stephen Baldwin.
Stephen Baldwin.
And guys, I know CJ, you've seen this movie before, but what was your new first impression?
10 out of 10, best movie I've ever seen.
Oh my god. TNA. If you want to see a bunch of boobies and ass, this is the movie for you.
I mean, there's better movies to see boobies and ass. Like, let's be honest.
Oh, yeah. But
You don't even see bare tits in this movie.
That's
but
the worst part.
No, but you know, you get bare ass and you get a lot of fart jokes.
Should we spoil the bare ass part of it for them, or just leave that to their imagination?
it's Stephen Baldwin.
Honestly, it's pretty nice.
It's Stephen Baldwin
Stephen
pressed up
Baldwin's
against
bald ass.
pressed up against glass.
Stephen Baldwin's bald ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, it was the best acting I've ever seen from Stephen Baldwin. Just him putting
Hands
his
down.
ass up against the glass.
I've never seen him act any better.
I've also never questioned my sexuality until that moment. I was like, maybe am I into this?
I questioned my sexuality until that moment. I had the reverse reaction.
Oh,
Yeah, I hated it so much that I'm just
You
straight.
hated it?
I'm just
you're
straight.
just
now.
straight all the way now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Straight all the way, huh?
Yep.
I'm a little bit skewed now.
That scene scared me straight.
I might be betting for the other team now.
Thoughts, CJ?
Yeah, free to bet.
Free to bet. Okay. Quite a wait. Is that a controversial opinion?
How expensive is Tibet?
Well, it's not free,
Well,
and that's the problem.
I guess so.
Listen, if American speech had any power, it wouldn't be free. How about you, Cam?
I will let the audience know that CJ pointed at the microphone when he said that.
Like you were running for president.
Yeah.
You're doxing me?
That's not really
We
doxing.
can't keep calling everything doxing.
Yeah, like you're going against my HIPAA.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't listen to what you were saying. I was distracted by the pointing. What did you say?
You know, that's how it works in politics. Is it's all just showmanship. It's not about quality of what you have to say.
The greatest showmanship.
I have to say, though, that movie, yeah. I do have the experience of having watched it in the past as a young boy. I did not recall all the bouncing T's and A's.
That was pretty nice, though.
It was nice. It was pleasant, but that's not what I remembered about the movie. I remembered Pauly Shore. I don't remember how boring it was for the first half of it, though, of them just
Being assholes.
just being assholes.
Yeah.
So when reviewers say psychotically unfunny and thoroughly loathsome comedy from start to finish, that's not entirely true. It's not from start to finish. It's from start to about 50 minutes into the film.
Yeah.
And then from that point on, after they have that weird party in the
It
desert
almost
part,
seems like a regular movie.
it like starts to become a somewhat watchable movie for the last half. So
But there is a problem, though. So spoilers, obviously. The one guy who like goes insane out of nowhere and just like becomes the villain like halfway through the story.
They don't explain it, but it's obviously because he like it was his thing, and then Pauly Shore and what's their name, Bud and Doyle, ruin it.
I don't even know what. Yeah, they're like some. I just know one of them's last name's McIntosh. That's like the only thing I remember.
It's Bud and Doyle.
Bud and Doyle.
But what did you said, like squirrel? Yeah.
Yeah, it's
whatever.
Squirrel. It's like Bud,
Squirrel.
Bud and Squirrel or something.
Whatever.
Squirrel McIntosh. What a fucking name, huh? Squirrel McIntosh.
yeah, I prefer Squirrel PC myself.
Squirrel PC. Yeah, but you're like the only one here that owns a Macintosh.
That's true. That's because I prefer it.
And you said you weren't a liar.
Oh man, you caught me red-handed. Oh man.
Well, anyway, back to the movie. So I think I mentioned this when we were watching it, because obviously we were talking during the movie, because I'm the only one that actually fucking wants to listen to the movie. So, you know.
I was just looking at memes.
Well, anyway, what's his name the dude, the Baldwin guy,
Aren't you the one who
Stephen
said you wanted to watch the movie?
Baldwin.
Stephen Baldwin.
We're
No,
the ones that know the names,
How
but
do you not know Stephen Baldwin?
I had a brain fart. Okay,
You've been farting all night.
that's been you. I haven't farted a single time.
I'm pretty sure CJ farted more than me. Hold on. Don't. Oh, God.
I'm gonna have to cut this.
why?
This is good
Why?
stuff.
It's ASMR.
What's wrong with ASMR? That's the name of the show.
It's
called
too sexy.
Film Review
Too
ASMR.
sexy.
It's not safe for work.
Listen, viewers at home, you are not allowed to have it hard on right now. Keep it in your pants at 6 o'clock, okay?
It's not suitable for San Francisco.
I have a hard on right now.
Okay. So back to the Baldwin bro. Yeah, so the problem was he seemed like he had an inherent smugness to him. Like, even though he was playing what is supposed to be probably the dumbest character in the entire movie, he kind of seemed like he was a lesser version of Ben Affleck with his smugness. If that makes any sense.
If you want me to stop spooning you, just let me know anytime, Cameron.
Is that what the review says?
No, I'm thinking this is a good title for the podcast, just called Psychotically Unfunny and Thoroughly Loathsome.
Oh, for this episode, or just the podcast?
Either
in
the name
general?
of the episode, which would be good, or
Okay.
the name of the podcast.
I think maybe the name of the episode.
Psychotically Unfunny and Thoroughly Loathsome.
The entire
And then-
yeah.
Maybe we name the episodes
Based
based
on
on
the
a
best-
funny line
yeah,
from a
from the-
review.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's
and then
good.
put in parentheses the name of the
Yeah.
movie.
I like
Yeah.
it.
That's pretty good.
I like it. Okay. Yeah, like we're grabbing the best reviews. Like you would, yeah, like the 2 thumbs up.
We should
yeah.
call the podcast the Pauly Shore Fan Club.
No, I disagree with that.
Okay, Pauly Shore and Friends.
No, we're not making it about Pauly Shore.
No, just, because it's funny.
Why would it be Pauly Shore and Friends when it none of us is named Pauly Shore?
What? No.
And none of us are friends.
Yeah, none of us are friends.
That's true, we're not friends.
After dark. No, the name of the podcast should be something like Shit Takes. The
No,
sequel.
it should be something that you would really like the Cameron Ford Telker podcast.
You just doxed me again.
That's not doxing. That's your name. That's public information.
Okay. Also, you didn't have to. You're the one that confirmed that he was doxing you.
It doesn't matter. The information, as soon as he says it, it's like people are gonna be like, "What? What does that mean?" They're gonna look it up, and they're gonna find out who I am.
Don't you want people to know who you are? Isn't that why we're releasing a podcast?
No,
Why are we doing this?
I don't know.
Because we're bored?
Yeah.
Because the world needs more podcasts?
So, I really can't get over the part though with the guy that was running the biodome that went crazy,
Mhm.
and basically there was no explanation. I love that part. I love that there was no explanation because it was just a wicked party, and then occasionally we just got these really close
I
up
guess if
shots
someone-
of him staring.
If someone goes crazy, like in real life, you don't necessarily get the context of why they went crazy. So I
Yeah.
guess it's more realistic
Yeah,
that
they're
we
just like,
don't
what
get an
happened to him?
explanation.
And then
Yeah.
it's just like him hiding in the bushes, just staring, and the whole apocalypse now thing. I loved it.
But
It's so good.
the thing is, the thing
It's
is,
so good.
even though realistically we don't get explanations in real life, for people going crazy, it's a movie. Like, come on, give me something. Give me some kind of...
Cameron, the context is that it was his biodome.
I was kind of hoping that he just went on a wild sex bender with all the chicks at the
Are
party.
you talking about the EPA guy from Ghostbusters?
No, I'm talking about the wait, what are we talking about? Who's the EPA guy?
The guy who played the bad guy who went crazy. in
Yeah, I
Biodome.
wanted him to go on a sex bender. I wanted him to see all the naked chicks or whatever, not naked chicks, but chicks in bikinis and be like, "Hey, maybe science isn't so important,"
Hey, boys in bikinis, girls in surfboards.
I wanted to be like a eureka moment, like, "Hey man, I've been doing science my whole life, but I haven't done shit."
You know what?
Oh my god, that's a movie tagline right there. I've been doing science my whole life, but I haven't done a chick.
That
This
was
summer.
Yeah. You know, what really bothered me were the credits at the beginning and
Oh,
and
yeah.
here's
Oh my
why.
god, that was so jarring. I forgot about that.
The very beginning, it's like they're trying to do this animated credit opening, but it's none of the images are interesting or funny in any way. It's like Good Burger was like kind of funny, and you've got Rat Race, which was hilarious. You had Baha Men singing, you know, Rat Race.
There was a song, yeah.
But in this, it wasn't good. And then at the end, they put the actors' names in order of appearance, and I felt so bad for the actor at the top of the list. Like, don't do that to that guy. Pauly, you need to be at the top of that list. He's like midway through the list.
Who was the first guy that made an appearance?
I don't know.
It's in order of appearance.
Yeah, it was in order of appearance. So whoever it first appears, people are gonna be like, yeah, you were definitely a part of this film. I saw your name at the top of the credits. I feel bad for that guy.
Was Pauly Shore not the first guy to appear?
No. He and Stephen Hawking were somewhere somewhere in the middle.
Stephen Hawking was in the movie?
Don't give me crap about forgetting his last
One
name.
of the lesser-known Baldwin brothers, Stephen Hawking.
You can't even remember his first name, and I farted on the last name. I don't
Some
care.
information is just not worth remembering, and that just happens to be one of the pieces of information that's not worth remembering.
How could you forget his name? I remember everything.
I remember names that are important. I'm telling you right now, Stephen Baldwin
is not important
one of
because
the
he was in this movie.
This is one of the things that changed his life and made him non-rememberable.
And somehow Alec Baldwin.
Who?
Stephen Hawking.
The actor.
Okay, but we're going. No. You're thinking of Ethan Hawking.
No. You're thinking of Ronald
Jackie
Reagan.
Chan. Oh.
Okay, but going back to the credits, it legitimately felt like it was the end of the movie. We were confused if even though it's not something we owned, it was something on a streaming service. You know, it's like
it was on a free streaming service. We didn't pay for this. It was on freebie.
You know what I just realized? If we played the movie in reverse, it would go the exact same way. It's perfect, and then they ruin it.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And it's perfect again.
Wait, should we watch? Watch this
watch
movie
it in reverse? It's perfect.
And maybe it makes more sense if we watch it in reverse.
They ruin it and put it all back together.
That was the problem. They just didn't put it in reverse like they were supposed to.
I've got pieces on my skin that are just peeling off.
Why?
Why
are we talking?
I don't
about
know.
This?
It itches and I'm scratching it. That's what's on my mind right now. I got these random red marks on my skin, here, and rashes. That's why I'm going to see a dermatologist.
Oh, okay.
I'll update you guys on the next episode.
This is getting cut. I'm not putting this in.
You should. This is more interesting than Biodome by Pauly Shore.
No, I mean Biodome has tits and ass, so
I have tits and ass.
Okay, but not the kind of TNA I want to see. Okay.
Well, excuse me.
Not the kind of TNA I want to see. Okay, that's man. Dude.
Oh man,
we're spitting today.
And I was born in Tennessee. Okay.
Okay.
Wait, were you?
Okay.
Yeah.
No, but were you though?
No.
Okay.
I was not. Unfortunately, I was born in Ohio, and I don't want to talk about it.
So much to me.
I didn't lie. I was born in Ohio.
You lied to me. You said you were born in Tennessee.
I was singing a fake song.
Well, you know what? You're the only 10 I see.
Oh.
Okay, back to the movie.
Let's get married.
No. Back to the movie, please.
I don't want to get back to the movie.
I want to mention some points that we made during the actual
but
watching
real quick,
movie.
let me clear something up.
Okay.
I don't even remember Ohio. Okay, so don't hold it against me. We moved when I was 1 year old.
If I said you had a hot bod, would you hold it against me?
I am right now. We've been spooning the whole time.
I'm not gonna answer that.
Oh,
that wasn't a question.
I don't even know what to say.
Okay, back to the movie. So we basically came to the the group consensus that if you cut out 20 minutes of them being assholes, and then cut out maybe 15 minutes of the end of the movie,
all of the flashbacks, can go.
All the flashbacks can go.
They don't even.
20 minutes of them being complete assholes with no redeeming qualities can go.
And if you cut out the entire movie except for the part that shows Tenacious D playing, then it's a good movie.
It's actually probably, it's probably worth some awards.
It's like that one little 10-second music video of like Jack Black and Kyle Gass in the background saying, what were they saying? They're just like, save the trees.
They didn't know what they had in that scene. Like, they should have gone all out. I mean, they should have gotten Tenacious D back when they have the party in the desert part of the biodome. Like, it should have only been Tenacious D. That whole movie.
I was completely disappointed when it wasn't Tenacious D at the party.
Yeah, I know.
I was completely drained after
but
I saw
to be
Tenacious
fair,
D
in 1996, they were not really well known. So
they didn't realize what gold they had.
I know. Jack Black had just co-starred in The Neverending Story 3.
He was such a baby in that. Like, it didn't even look like that.
I know. And Kyle Gass like had black hair still, like, and wasn't completely bald.
Hair, yeah. In general.
Why'd you have to say black
of any color?
Because
why'd you have to point out that his hair's black?
Because he has white hair now.
You mean gray hair?
No, it's white. Have you seen a picture?
I thought he just doesn't have hair.
It's straight up white hair.
Well, the argument's completely wrong. He just doesn't have hair.
No, he does. It's white. No, on the top, but he keeps it around the side.
You're getting his skin color mixed with his hair color.
That's just the light. That's just the lighting.
That's just a lie.
Picked up, but you know.
Cameron, well, what do you know?
Cameron is projecting every time he's like, "What are you lying to me?" He lies to me more than anybody else I know.
I learned it from you, Dad.
Look,
from watching you.
I think it's very possible that Kyle Gass wears a merkin. That's all I want to say.
And all I want to say is, Cameron can go fuck himself.
Come on, that's not
in front of us.
No, don't put that in the podcast.
I don't. I'm just trying to match
at
your
this location
in this economy.
Because you didn't let me finish.
Okay. Because
someone should fuck you. You shouldn't have to fuck yourself. You should be happy with someone who wants to fuck you. That was how I was finishing that sentence.
Okay, well, you know, I'm sure someone out there would be willing to maybe have sex with me.
It might happen.
In the right
I believe it'll happen. I believe
in the right circumstances.
But on the like you're horny and they're horny.
And I'm paying them.
That is a most likely
in fact, we don't even need them to be horny. Just me, and then I'm paying them.
I don't understand why you haven't been doing this the whole time.
I don't have money.
Yeah, you do.
No.
You know what, though? I feel like if somebody is capable of making Biodome, I think that sets the bar pretty low for us to make a movie.
That's it. We need to make Biodome 2.
But there's more people involved. Like, they obviously were able to convince people that they could somehow make a good movie. I mean, Baldwin. Stephen Baldwin. I mean, he had brothers that were in the industry, and like, he still thought that would be a good movie for some reason. So, obviously, Pauly Shore is just able to convince enough people to just back him and be a part of his projects.
Here's the thing. Aside from the Baldwin brother, nobody else was actually on screen for that long. Truly, it was mostly Pauly Shore and Stephen Baldwin.
I think that
like everyone else only did like little bits.
Okay, so
and it wasn't necessary, like half of it.
So here's what pissed me off the most, though. They didn't have any separation between Pauly Shore and Stephen Baldwin. Like, their characters didn't have any kind of...
Constantly on screen together.
They're constantly on screen together. And there's no... I mean, they developed as characters, but they were always together. You can't have that.
They were not foils for each other. Like, other movies, like Dumb and Dumber, like, there's usually tension between characters, and they get into more arguments and fights, and have... usually more differing opinions. And
they were really agreeable.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Just there's too much of the same. Like, they represented one character basically.
They didn't even need to cast Stephen Baldwin in this movie. They could have just been Pauly Shore by himself.
It really could have, though.
Yeah.
It really could have just been Pauly Shore by himself.
If you think about Dude, Where's My Car or Cheech and Chong, they always have moments
needed
where
another person to lean on.
Yeah. But this was very clearly Pauly Shore is doing insane shit and Stephen Baldwin's just acting dumb because in real life he doesn't know how to react to what he's saying.
Yeah.
I feel like there were a few moments where they were trying to make it seem like he is secretly smart, like he was listening for a moment to like this conversation or that, and they like did the thing to try and catch the butterflies or whatever.
But he
like,
was
that
still
was his idea.
He was still acting like dumb.
It wasn't good because in Dumb and Dumber, gosh, what's his name?
Jeff Daniels.
No, it's like Sean Parker. What?
Jim Carrey.
The other guy that starts with
Jeff
Ashton
Daniels.
Kutcher. No, in Dude, Where's My Car?
Dude, Where's My Car? Sean William Scott.
Sean William Scott. In Dude, Where's My Car? There's like those like key moments where like suddenly Sean William Scott is like completely lucid, and it's brilliant, and everyone's like, oh, the stoner's a fucking genius in this one moment, and it works. But in Biodome, it's like they maybe tried, but it fell flat every time. It didn't seem like a. I don't know.
It seemed like pandering. It seemed like pandering to people who are dumb that just like wish they had an important role in the movie.
I guess so.
like it's the movie for dumb as fuck people with no redeeming qualities. Like the people that honestly don't put any effort into something but still feel like they should be rewarded for it.
They did get rewarded at the end,
exactly.
even though they caused all the problems.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then in a few scenes in the last half of the movie, it felt like they made some last minute additions to the scripts in regards to the what's his face bad guy, where they're like, okay, even though Pauly Shore and Stephen Baldwin caused all the problems, we need to shift the antagonist tone over to this guy, and suddenly he goes crazy and makes them heroes.
And he's a terrorist.
Yeah. So
and they're only good in that contrast because now he's trying to blow up the place.
Otherwise, if it was more realistic, no one would have sympathized or agreed that Pauly Shore and Stephen Baldwin deserved any reward at the end. So they just had to like makeshift a bad guy all of a sudden in the last half for like no reason. It just comes out of nowhere. It's really weird.
Also, the scene where they're like, oh, we're gonna lock this and we're gonna have to be in here and like die basically, and for some reason everybody was on board with that. Like, these guys have been complete assholes the whole time. There's been no kind of hint of them maybe being able to pull this off. And suddenly, all these other characters are just putting their lives in the hands of these guys that can't do anything.
It was just the one director. He was the one that made the call. Whoever was the guy that went crazy at the end. He was the one that made the call. Everyone else just had to go with it. I do want to point out, though, the very end of the movie, it shows him running away. And I think that kind of adds a little bit more to the fact that there's some moral ambiguity on, if you really think about it, on whether or not that guy was actually a bad guy, or maybe he was just pushed to the edge because his entire life project was ruined by a couple of fuckboys who wanted to throw a party in the Biodome. And they let, like the end of the movie, he gets away without being arrested, without being chased or anything. And you know what? If he was a bad guy that was trying to kill people, you would just have him arrested in any other movie. You know, bump his head on the way in the car. But I feel like the way that they just let him run away is kind of because he kind of doesn't deserve to be punished. On some level, he's an adult. He made those choices, but
I'm just gonna say something right now. As soon as we start talking about moral ambiguity in a like Pauly Shore movie, I'm like out.
The entire movie is about the bio. Well, I guess it's actually about how they want to get laid. So
yeah, and then as soon as the two chicks they want to have sex with, like the entire movie decide to come onto them, they're like, oh, we have girlfriends.
Yeah, not immediately though. That took a while for them to process. Yeah. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a tick. That's not right. Wait a minute. That doesn't seem right.
Do you guys want to watch Shrek the Third?
Is that a bad movie?
Yeah, it has.
It got bad reviews.
Mixed reviews, but it's considered rotten on Rotten Tomatoes.
I really want to just watch Shrek 3 without watching the first two, and if they're not all bad, then it's like, I don't know.
I just think it might be a funny one to watch.
I want to watch Back to School before we watch anything else, if I'm being honest.
I am definitely Carpool with Tom Arnold. We have to watch Carpool. Because I honestly don't know if Carpool is better than this movie. Well, it might be marginally better. I remember laughing at Carpool.
This movie kind of reminded me of Back to School at certain moments, because Back to School, spoiler alert, had like 3 or 4 different writers.
What's the name? Dennis?
No.
Who am I thinking of?
Rodney Dangerfield.
Dangerfield.
Yeah, Rodney Dangerfield.
I knew it was a D.
Oh, speaking of Rodney Dangerfield, I don't know if this is considered a bad movie, but Ladybugs is another one with Rodney Dangerfield that I kind of want to watch. So depending on if there are any bad reviews out there, we should maybe add that to the list as well. But anyway, like I said, spoiler alert for Back to School, it had like 3 or 4 different writers, and it had like 3 endings because of that. So
like Clue.
Well, Clue. That was part of the concept. This one, it just felt like 3 different writers were like couldn't decide on which.
Wait, so they have like
wanted.
3 scenes in a row on endings in the movie?
Kind of. Okay, so to explain it, maybe I should save this for the podcast.
Let's just wait.
Yeah.
When we watch it.
Yeah, we'll just wait. We'll do that for the next one, or another one, whatever. I think this is probably a good cutoff for ending the podcast.
The best time to wear a striped sweater is all the time. With the collared turtleneck. That's the kind.
I didn't even know the other lyrics to that. Okay, so we're gonna do a quick little. Now, after watching the movie, what would you rate that movie out of 10?
Out of 10.
Out of 10, because the score on IMDb right now is 4.4.
10 what?
It's like stars, like out of 10.
10 stars.
Out of 10 stars. Well, I mean, it doesn't even have to be stars. It's just like out of 10, what would you rate the movie?
Out of 10 what?
Out of 10.
10 donuts.
10 donuts.
Mm-hmm.
Out of 10 donuts, what would you rate it?
I honestly think I'm being really generous here only because of Pauly Shore, Tenacious D, and like the TNA.
Yeah, that is a big factor.
I'm gonna literally actually do, just because of those 3 points, I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 10.
Oh my goodness!
Really? My score is surprisingly higher than yours, just by a hair. 3.14159265358979323846264664.
You know, surprisingly, we're all kind of on the same page. I was going to say 3.1, but not with all the pretentious numbers afterwards.
Pie is pretentious. You heard it from Cameron. We're going to sell them on t-shirts. Pie is pretentious, quote Cameron Telker. $10 a t-shirt.
I meant more so that you were pretentious for listing out all the numbers.
I'm just showing off.
Yeah, exactly. Can't even remember my last name, though.
No, I don't.
But for real, like the first hour of that movie was terrible.
It was. And then for the last half, man, it was terrible.
I honestly felt like taking a nap, like, during the movie. Just
But-
be like...
Were you, though? Were you, like, wanting to take a nap? Because every time we wanted to say something, you're like,
That's true.
Shut
You're
up,
like,
shut up,
I've
I'm
never
watching the
seen this movie.
I've got to pay attention to this movie. Otherwise, if I don't pay attention, I'm going to fail my class.
Well, this podcast is my class.
Oh, shit. What school are you in?
This one. My house. The house. School.
Your
Learning.
parents are testing you?
No, I'm testing I'm testing myself.
It's your own school.
It's my own school.
Telker Toes University. Sign up
You
now.
just fucking every opportunity.
We're going to call this Doxing Cameron.
Let's call the podcast Telker Toes University.
Telker Toes University.
Now enrolled.
Is
in
that
Telker
really what we
Toes.
want to call this podcast?
No.
I almost.
I feel like we're missing some context.
People will think it's about feet.
Yeah.
It's about bad reviews and experiencing those reviews. So,
I just feel like the bad reviews like podcast is
the Masochistic Reviews podcast, because we are entertaining ourselves by doing bad things, experiencing poorly reviewed things.
Why do we have to like make it masochistic though?
We'll call it Chums in the House, the podcast.
No. Oh.
Why can't we just exploit our
Bad
brand
reviews.
name as much
the
as
Telker
possible?
Toes experience?
Because if
See.
anything, we're going to be using this podcast to probably advertise our brand.
What about Wild House and Friends?
Wild House and Friends?
Yeah.
Do people even like know you enough to be like, oh, Wildhouse and Friends?
Do they know you well enough?
No, but I'm not suggesting that we put my name on it.
No, but you're suggesting that we're doxing you.
Well, you are.
Which one is
Well,
it?
Then we're putting your name on it.
What?
Then people don't know who you are.
Okay.
We'll call it the Edgar Court Podcast. And no one will know what that means. There's no context to that name at all.
I guess you're right. Maybe we should call it that.
Let's call it Pennsylvania Honey
Wait. What did
Black Man.
What did that one review say?
That's a good name.
PP meant.
Oh yeah, what was
PP?
What was PP?
It
short
was
for?
it was you know,
No, I don't. Tell me. I asked the question.
PP. They said we were like, why would you call that PP for short? But I can't remember. It was post production.
No, it's not
No.
post production.
Production.
I don't know what it was. Something.
Did we have it in the podcast?
It would
from
be in
earlier?
there. It would be in there. Yeah. It was one of. The
I think it'd be
reviews I read.
funny if we called it the PP podcast and then had that be the.
That is so funny because my other podcast is shiitake, so I got poop and pee.
PP.
The PP podcast, and then it means whatever that guy said PP was.
But we did.
Okay.
Wait a minute. What about the Webster University student podcast?
No, why can't we come up with a cool name for a podcast?
I told you earlier I wanted to call it the Pauly Shore Fan Club.
Product placement.
Product placement. Oh my
PP for
God.
short.
We'll call it the PP podcast, and then it'll be the product placement
podcast.
But in
Product
this case, the
placement
product
podcast.
placement is just Chums in the House.
It's just-
watch
yeah,
Chums
just
in the
Chums in
House.
the
It's good though because the moment somebody offers us money, it's like, well, yeah, we're gonna sell out.
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
It's product.
the
placement,
product placement podcast. Okay, I like that as a name.
The PP
The
podcast.
PP podcast.
Episode 1. What was it called?
For the PPP. Oh man,
The PP
I'm here
podcast.
for the PPP.
That's better. PPP. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
The PP
No,
podcast.
And episode 1,
I'm here
based
for the PPP.
a quote from the best review of this movie: "Psychotically unfunny and thoroughly loathsome." That's such a good name.
Psychotically unfunny and thoroughly loathsome.
Loathsome.
Loathsome? Oh,
Thoroughly loathsome comedy from start to finish.
I'm tired. It's 3 a.m.
All right.
Um,
So that means we gotta end the podcast, the PP podcast, or the PPP.
the PPP.
I was, yeah, it's like, to the PPP!
PPP1, PPP2, PPP3, PPP4, PPP5, PPP6, PPP7, PPP heaven.
Okay, well, then, thanks for listening to the PP podcast.
You're welcome.
guys.
You're welcome.
And I hope you look forward to our next one.
I hope you come next time.
Hope you come very hard next time.
I'm already came.
You've already came.
I'm already came.
To the PPP!